We shall now proceed to the presentation of awards. May we request our guest of honor, the Honorable Voltaire Tavera Gasmin, to proceed in front for the presentation of awards, to be assisted by the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force, Lieutenant General Lauro Catalino G. de la Cruz, Armed Forces of the Philippines, and the Assistant Chief of Air Staff for Personnel A1, Colonel Enrique C. Reyes, General Staff Corps, Philippine Air Force. Likewise, may we call the Air Force Adjutant, Colonel Edgardo T. De Vera, General Staff Corps, Philippine Air Force, to read the citation of awards.
Armed Forces of the Philippines, Headquarters, Philippine Air Force, Colonel Jesus Villamor Air Base, Pasay City. Pursuant to General Orders number 165 to 167, 172 to 181, 184 and 191, dated 27 June 2012, unit and individual awards are hereby conferred to the following: for having been adjudged as the Model Philippine Air Force Base of the year 2012, the plaque of commendation is presented to Fernando Air Base, Lipa City.
To receive the award is Major General Edgardo Rene C. Samonte, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Commander, Air Education Training Command. Likewise, the CGPAF streamer is also presented to Air Education and Training Command.
Likewise, for having been adjudged as the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force Streamer Awardee 2012, Command Category, the plaque of commendation is also presented to Air Education and Training Command, Philippine Air Force.
Likewise, the CGPAF streamer is also presented to Air Education and Training Command.
For having been adjudged as the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force Streamer Awardee 2012, Air Division Category, the plaque of commendation is presented to 3rd Air Division, Philippine Air Force.
To receive the award is Major General Jose Tony E. Villarete, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Division Commander, 3rd Air Division. Likewise, the CGPAF streamer is also presented to 3rd Air Division.
For having been adjudged as the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force Streamer Awardee 2012, Tactical Wing Category, the plaque of commendation is presented to 205th Tactical Helicopter Wing, Philippine Air Force.
To receive the award is Brigadier General Wilfredo O. Ona, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Wing Commander, 205th Tactical Helicopter Wing. Likewise, the CGPAF streamer is presented to 205th Tactical Helicopter Wing.
For having been adjudged as the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force Streamer Awardee 2012, Support Wing Category, the plaque of commendation is presented to 520th Air Base Wing, Philippine Air Force.
To receive the award is Brigadier General Edgar R. Falionina, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Wing Commander, 520th Air Base Wing. Likewise, the CGPAF streamer is also presented to 520th Air Base Wing.
For having been adjudged as the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force Streamer Awardee 2012, Tactical Group Category, the plaque of commendation is presented to Tactical Operations Group 6, 2nd Air Division, Philippine Air Force.
To receive the award is Colonel Frederick M. Cutler, Philippine Air Force General Staff Corps, Group Commander, Tactical Operations Group 6. Likewise, the CGPAF streamer is also presented to Tactical Operations Group 6.
For having been adjudged as the Commanding General, Philippine Air Force Streamer Awardee 2012, Support Group Category, the plaque of commendation is presented to 505th Search and Rescue Group, Philippine Air Force.
To receive the award is Colonel Ricardo A. Milan, Philippine Air Force General Staff Corps, Group Commander, 505th Search and Rescue Group. Likewise, the CGPAF streamer is also presented to 505th Search and Rescue Group.
For having been adjudged as the Philippine Air Force Officer of the Year for calendar year 2012, the plaque of commendation is presented to Lieutenant Colonel Paulo C. Teodoro, Officer DAS 11695 Philippine Air Force, 250th Presidential Airlift Wing. For having been adjudged as the Philippine Air Force Enlisted Personnel of the Year for calendar year 2012, the plaque of commendation is presented to Technical Sergeant Marcelo G. Mendoza, 793227 Philippine Air Force, 15th Strike Wing. For having been adjudged as the Philippine Air Force Model Supervisor of the Year for calendar year 2012, the plaque of commendation is presented to Ms. Aurora B. Ronquillo. For having been adjudged as the Philippine Air Force Model Employee of the Year for calendar year 2012, the plaque of commendation is presented to Ms. Lydia A. Caponpon. For having the best overall aircraft accident prevention program in all flight safety functional areas for anniversary year 2011-2012, the Commanding General's Flight Safety Award is presented to 250th Presidential Airlift Wing, Philippine Air Force.
To receive the award is Brigadier General Alexander P. Bote, Armed Forces of the Philippines, Wing Commander, 250th Presidential Airlift Wing.
For having been adjudged as the Philippine Air Force Reservist Unit of the Year 2012, Wing Category, the plaque of commendation is presented to 1st Air Force Wing Reserve, Philippine Air Force.
To receive the award is Lieutenant Colonel Hilario B. Frigiliana Jr., PAF Reserve, Wing Commander, 1st Air Force Wing Reserve. Likewise, the CGPAF streamer is presented to 1st Air Force Wing Reserve.
For having been adjudged as the Philippine Air Force ROTC Cadet of the Year 2012, the plaque of commendation is presented to Cadet Colonel Armando C. Mata Jr., Xavier University, Ateneo de Cagayan, Cagayan de Oro City. For having been adjudged as the Philippine Air Force ROTC Cadet of the Year 2012, the plaque of commendation is presented to Cadet Major Timmy Memoria, University of Perpetual Help, Las Piñas. By command of Lieutenant General de la Cruz, Official Raul Gabriel L. Di Matatac, Brigadier General Armed Forces of the Philippines, Chief of Air Staff, signed Edgar T. De Vera, Colonel, Philippine Air Force, General Staff Corps, Air Force Adjutant.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to our awardees.